Okay, with it being after 7 o'clock, I'll call the May 24th meeting to order, and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, there was nobody was able to read the minutes, so we will table them till the next meeting. First order of business is COC, it's an old one, NACC number 271, 1550 Salem Street.
All right, so this project was actually under the bylaw only, because there was an isolated vegetated wetland and no BVW. And it involved the construction of an above-ground pool, associated deck and stairs, and a rear deck rehab and expansion at the rear of the house with new stairs and a landing. Underground electrical connection to service the pool is proposed, and equipment pad, and there was a shed to be located outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. The deck at the rear of the house was not extended, it was rehabbed in place, and the only thing different is that the stairs were shifted alongside of the house. So we have a smaller footprint there and much further away from the wetland. The pool is slightly farther away from the wetland and received a gravel splash strip around its perimeter. Wetland markers are in place, site is stable, and there's no outstanding issues, so I recommend issuing a full and complete COC.
Thank you. Ryan, any questions?
No questions.
Al?
No questions.
Tony?
No questions.
Motion?
Will we issue a full and complete certificate of compliance with ongoing conditions as identified in the order? Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
Great,
Um,
so you're all set.
Amy, should we clear the enforcement order first before we go for the COC, or does it matter?
Doesn't,
COC was part of the enforcement order, right?
no, it was, the EO covered recording the order, paying the bond, and getting the as-built plan. And then paying the fines, which has been done.
All right, then we'll just leave it, we'll leave it in place then,
Yep.
okay?
Yeah, leave it the way it is, I think.
Okay, next one is 242-1769 Dogwood Circle condominiums. You got your Kevlar vest on?
Yes.
So, the commission would call this order governed the construction of a recon block retaining wall, which was to be landward of the existing boulder retaining wall that was showing signs of failure. The commission had to issue an enforcement order because all the work was done without any pre-construction requirements being met. The enforcement order required that the order be recorded, the bond paid, and a as-built plan be prepared, and fines went along with that. Commission kept the enforcement order in place to require that the fines be paid. They have been paid, so they went ahead and filed for a certificate of compliance. We've looked at this as-built plan at the last meeting, and Paul Bergman is not the design engineer, but the certifying engineer, and he provided a schedule of elevations on the as-built as well. And, you know, the site is stable, the markers, the wetland markers are up, erosion controls are removed. So, that's it.
Thank you. Ryan? Al?
Photo number 3, that's current conditions right now.
Where is that, which one is that?
This one,
No, that's
That's
post-construction.
post-construction.
post-construction, so it's meaning.
Just that, yeah, Paul was able to get a hold of some pictures during construction, so someone was there taking pictures.
Yeah, you showed us pictures.
So that's the end
Yeah.
result is what I'm asking. That's the end result.
Actually, Amy and I did take more recent photographs.
Okay.
which I think I
Could show
provided to you.
Site stabilized.
thought it was
Yeah.
pretty well vegetated.
It was,
so-
it
yeah.
is. It's just, he just included it as
No,
information.
no, I think it's, I like
Yep.
the way it's completed.
Yes.
I just wanted to know.
But
if
it's
that-
totally stable, and I have photos of it. I think I shared it at the last meeting, 2 meetings ago, whatever.
Are we letting them leave the erosion controls there, or are they taking them
No,
out?
they took them out.
Oh, they are out now?
They took them out.
Okay, I have no questions. Tony?
You said he was installing wetland markers, those are in?
Yeah, they're on the fence,
Then
actually.
no questions. So,
Yeah. I didn't make them go down in the woods.
Okay. We need a motion?
I'll move it.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Thank you.
All right.
Just a couple of questions.
Sure.
So the certificate needs to be recorded, correct?
Yes,
At
Yes.
the Lawrence Registry?
yes,
Yep.
yep,
And we'll send you proof of that, Amy?
Yes.
Book and page?
yep,
You got the checks for the fines?
yep.
The performance bond check, does that get, what's the status?
It would, I mean, it'll be a quick turnaround. We probably just deposit it, so we'll just, once we get the recording information, we'll,
It gets sent back to PMA?
yes,
Okay.
yep, it would.
Okay.
Yep.
Was the enforcement order recorded?
No,
Okay.
and we'll,
We're
I
gonna
suppose the
rescind-
commission, if you wanted to address
We're
that
gonna
right
rescind-
now.
We can do that now. You want to do that now? So he knows. We have an enforcement order on Dogwood,
Yep,
242-1769.
I mean, we're at the, I mean, you just issued the COC, so you could
So it's
probably
all
vote
set.
to lift the enforcement order.
And the fine's been paid.
Well, that would be the question, as long as.
Fines are paid. You got-
Everything
Yep,
has been complied with,
yep.
with respect to the language, so,
So we have a motion.
Yeah, I move to lift the enforcement order.
a second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
So the certificate gets signed by the commission,
Yep,
and then we pick up the original,
yes.
Amy?
Yes, for
Okay,
recording.
Record that,
Yep,
yep. My last question is that my company, not the company that did this wall, my company is working on plans, application for another retaining wall at this property at Oak Ridge Village on,
Juniper.
I think it's called Juniper, right? Can I proceed with submitting that to the commission now? Because I know that was in hold until this got cleared up.
Yeah, you'll be able to do it now.
Yeah, once-
Okay.
Once you record the COC, then you're,
Yep,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
my last question, so
Yeah,
I'll see you sometime soon on that one then.
And you're not going to have the contractor build it before.
We're gonna take care of it. It'll be done right. Thank you.
All right,
thanks,
thank you.
Paul,
Thanks,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Next one, modification 242-634, requested continue till June 14th. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, and that's unanimous. Small project, NACC 306-465 Stevens Street.
Alrighty. So this project involves in-kind replacement of an existing rear deck, stairs, landing, railings, and 3 footings. I inspected the site, and per my measurements, the deck is 51 feet from the BVW, and that's conservative. And it's associated with an intermittent stream that runs between Stevens Street and Great Pond Road. 3 new sonotube footings will be dug by hand. Their base will be 24 inches and their top diameter will be 12 inches if they decide not to use helical piles. Any excess soil will be spread underneath the existing deck. The dumpster will be placed in the driveway by the street, and all materials will be hand-carried or wheelbarrowed to and from the work area. Square footage of the deck, including the stairs, is 158 square feet. So they're coming under a Category B, in-kind replacement of existing decks. and recommend approval with conditions that require a pre-construction meeting to inspect installed erosion controls. Any excess soil shall be spread under the existing deck that is located between the house and the garage, and a post-construction site inspection with the Conservation Department to verify compliance. I don't know if anyone was able to attend on behalf of this application. I think there was scheduling conflicts. No, I don't know. I think there was scheduling conflicts for any representatives to come tonight, but.
You have any questions this time? Cal?
No questions.
I have just one question. This is Google Earth.
Yeah,
How accurate is it?
well, it's my measurement.
No, the reason why I'm saying that, I'm looking at somebody's houses.
Oh, in
One
terms
them
of,
is on the property line.
oh, yeah, no, we don't,
Yeah,
they're not perfect
they're
when it
not
comes.
orthographic, there's a little bit of tilt to them, because you can see the sides, so they project.
Yeah, because I was
Yep.
looking for access in this one, and I'm looking at this one, and some of the building is over the property line.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't have any questions. Tony,
No questions.
motion.
so finding that this qualifies as a category B first?
So I'll move that we consider this to be a category B, in-kind replacement of existing deck.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
And accordingly, I move that we approve the small project as described.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
Great.
That one's done. Next one is a small project, 307-210 Raleigh Tavern Lane.
All right. Pull up the project. Just getting the plan up. Hold on 1 second. Alrighty. So this project comes under another category B, in-kind replacement of existing decks. It's a 12 by 20 deck, and with a set of stairs that are shifting from the side of the deck to the middle of the deck, and the total square footage is approximately 260 square feet. I visited the site, took measurements. The existing stairs are 68 feet from the bank of an intermittent stream that runs along the east side of the property. So after those stairs are moved, the deck will be even farther away from the wetland. The rear of the deck is outside of the BVW that the intermittent stream dumps into. 3 new footings with 24-inch bases and 12-inch tops will be installed by hand. The dumpster will be kept in the driveway, and materials hand-carried or wheelbarrowed to and from the work area. I don't believe any erosion controls are needed for this. This is flat pancake lawn with plenty of, there's just no threat in terms of the work area and getting to the wetland at all. So recommend determining that this qualifies as category B, and then approve with conditions that all excess soils be taken off site or utilized outside the buffer zone, and then a post-construction site inspection to verify compliance.
So they're just digging 3 holes, basically? That's
Yep,
it? So-
yep.
Okay, I have no problem with your recommendation.
Yeah. Tony, motion?
I'm going to move the recommendation as written in the 2 parts at the same time, determining it a category B and then approving it as such.
Do I have a motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
All set. You have a question?
I
Okay.
just have a question. When can the construct, is
So-
demolition start?
So this is the owner.
I'm Bill Driscoll.
Yeah, so I will write the permit, and I can get that out to you probably by the end of the week.
Okay.
And then I'll upload it to Viewpoint, and then I can sign off on the building permit.
Okay.
So
Okay,
within the
sometime
next couple of days.
Next couple, this week anyways, hopefully.
Yep, yes.
Okay.
Yep,
Sounds great,
okay,
thank you.
great, thank you.
Thank
You
you.
don't want to work this weekend anyway, do you?
Pardon me?
You don't actually want to work this weekend, do you?
No, I'm not working this weekend.
Attaboy.
So we have RDA 122 Mill Pond.
All right, let me pull this up here. Alrighty, so the commission will recall that this project entails demolition of an existing 2 tennis courts, gravel driveway, raised garden beds, and the construction of 2 new 2-family townhomes with associated appurtenances on about a .81 acre site. The wetland is across the street, across Stevens Street, so it's not on the property. The buffer zone projects onto the subject property. At the last hearing, the commission requested an updated site plan with specifications for dewatering for a location and a spec detail. So I have the demo and erosion control plan up on the screen. So we have the proposed dewatering area right here, which is right outside of the right outside of the 100-foot, actually. And then later on in the plan set, we have the specification. It's a dirt bag, right, Tom? It's silt bag. I
silt
know,
bag.
that's what they call it, though. That's what, so, filter bag. So there you have it. So, the project results in a reduction of 6,500 square feet of impervious surface, and the only work in the buffer involves the removal of the tennis courts, loaming and seeding, and a very tiny corner of one of the units. So that's it. And Tom Zarico is here, the applicant, if you have any questions.
Brian?
No questions. No questions.
I just have one, Tom.
Yeah.
Where you put the construction entrance, wouldn't it have made more sense to put it between the 2 buildings? Where you got to have the stockpile and everything straight in and straight out?
Well, I mean, I guess it's a judgment call. I mean, I think the construction entrance should be further from the intersection with Stevens. I just think if there's any queuing of trucks or anything, I think it's better for them to be further from that intersection. I mean, that's kind of, it's just a safety
Oh, you
thing.
mean it's closer to the intersection? Okay.
Rather than it being closer to the intersection, yeah, I think it's better for queuing of equipment and vehicles and that type of thing.
Okay, I'm fine, just like, I'm just, me being a truck driver,
Yeah, I know.
I know, making that swing to go in behind the buildings, if you have to back in, it could be tight. That's why I just said, think about backing and going straight, but that's okay, put it
Yeah.
wherever you want.
Oh, he's got a rain garden in between the buildings, though. So
Well,
if
that's
you're-
true.
If you're infiltrating, you don't want to be, so
He's
yeah.
got a
Yeah,
what?
that's right.
There's a rain garden between the 2 buildings.
Yep.
Oh, there is, okay.
Yeah,
So if he's infiltrating anything through there,
yeah, any pipes or anything would be in jeopardy in that zone.
Well, that's right, you're doing one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, no questions. Tony,
no questions.
Sean,
No questions.
motion.
So close the hearing and issue a -3 with conditions that require pre-construction meeting with the applicant engineer and wetland consultant. I'm going to recommend that there be monitoring. You guys can do what you want with that recommendation, but so that we do have monitoring by a wetland consultant after a half-inch rain event. And then a post-construction to verify compliance, stabilize conditions, and removal of erosion controls.
I will move the recommendations as printed.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you all very much, appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Welcome back to town.
I need to
Thanks.
sign,
Thank you.
I watched the video, I need to sign them all.
Oh, yeah, we got the things. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Next one is 40 Equestrian Drive.
Alrighty, let me just pull up. So, Commission opened the hearing last meeting and had discussion. The property lies within natural heritage. We hadn't heard back from them yet, and the Commission wanted additional information on the construction access route. So the Commission will recall that this is a above-ground pool project, 16 by 24. The pool will be 63 feet from the wetland at its closest point. The other issue was whether the wetlands hosted vernal pool habitat. So the applicant had their wetland consultant, Mary Trudeau, go back out. They went back out on May 17th, I believe, to do more investigation. Her report's in your packets. She did not find sufficient hydrology to support vernal pool habitat. Natural Heritage found the project to be exempt as it's a project pertinent to a single-family house within existing lawn and landscaped areas. As long as no expansion of lawn or anything like that happens, it's, remains exempt. And the pool contractor provided some additional information about construction access. So let me see. Let's see how that. So entrance through off the end of the driveway to the right of the house over this flagstone patio or pathway area. And then coming around to where the pool is going to be in the backyard. And then this is the as-built plan, just kind of showing access. So those were the pieces of information that were outstanding. And if you guys are okay with information provided, you could close the hearing and issue a -3 with conditions, which I can go through if you want. But pool contractors here if you have questions.
Thank you. Ryan? Al?
I'm treating Mary Trudeau's respect. No activity.
No, it really dried up,
Yeah.
and it was just sort of a intermittent trickle through, so.
All set.
This was the above ground pool, right?
Yes.
For access, what are you thinking for equipment? Just the only comment I have is on the with the erosion sketch out with the corners extending it to the front, which are machine because it's right at the top of the steep hill. Even some straw like that right at the end, just in case it's off when you're doing it.
Sure.
I don't know if I missed it.
Cartridge filtration system, no backwash.
No backwash.
Right. All the water will stay with
That's what I was looking for.
This is in the order.
It's always nice to see that. He told last year, General told us he's doing 1,000 of these pools. So
almost 20,000.
20,000. So with that many pools constructed and him still in business,
He's doing something.
he must be doing something right.
Yeah.
So I'm just.
It's like 2-3 days of work.
This might be 2. Yeah.
2.
Generally it's 1, but you'll probably have 2.
So they're in and out quick.
So do we have a motion?
So close the hearing, issue a -3 conditions, erosion controls in the form of 8-inch mulch stock, I think, would be sufficient to be installed as Tony had suggested, to extend around that bend and the access. Pre-construction meeting with the contractor and our conservation department. Wetland markers to be installed along the limits of the wooded area on mature trees, as approved by the conservation staff, and then post-construction site inspection to verify compliance and approve removal of erosion control.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's unanimous. Well said. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next one is 10. 1859, requesting extension until June 14. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, and that's unanimous. And 242, 1858, requesting continue until June 14. Second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, and that's unanimous. Next one is 242, 1867, 479 Lacey Street.
It's Mr. Chair. I'm just going to pull up the site plan just to look at. Okay. Alrighty, so Commissioner recall the project is at the Windrush Equestrian Farm, and it involves improvement to drainage problems on the west side of the campus, and it was subject to stormwater management regulations. At the last meeting, the commission wanted a third-party peer review. We arranged for the town engineer to perform that. He was able to do that. He had a few comments, nothing that required plan changes, but just a rerun of a HydroCAD, and the O&M plan was revised to include more frequent inspections of the BMPs. So I was able to get that out to the applicant and their engineer. They responded, and then our town engineer looked at the response, and I have an email confirming that he has no further comments or questions, and the response was, satisfactory. So this project is requesting a waiver from the 25-foot no disturb zone for the terminal outlet of the rain garden. Waiver request was submitted, and the engineer commented last meeting that it really needs to be where it is because of all the elevations and meeting the outlet for the terminal point. So, and I believe that the 25-foot no disturb zone is currently being mowed.
Correct, right up to the edge of the pond.
And so aside from just around that terminal velocity reducer, it's going to be allowed to grow back. Is that right?
I think they still have to maintain the pond for fire access.
Okay. But sections of it can, not all of it has to be
Right,
mowed.
immediately downgrading of the outlet, we could certainly let it grow back, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell.
Al?
No, if John Borghesi's happy with it, I'm satisfied.
Just one question. Where's the manure stored? Is it?
It's not on the plan, it's further off the
way,
property.
all right, that was the only concern, is
They
whether it
do
was going
store
to
it on the property, but way further north.
Yeah, as long as it's not running into the storm area, I'm good.
Not at all,
No,
nope.
no questions.
Sean?
So Amy, you're telling me the town engineer said that there was no other alternative other than to go with the new buffer zone?
Well, we weren't asking him to evaluate that. We were asking him to make sure that the stormwater design was compliant with stormwater regs, not necessarily our no disturb zone, but, I mean,
Have some discussion about that, and he explained why it had to be the way it was.
Right.
So at the time, I think everybody was satisfied as long as it got reviewed.
Okay.
So that's why I don't think there was an alternatives analysis requested.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
he did do the sheet, though.
yeah, he did, absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you.
So we have to vote on waiver, correct?
Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That's unanimous. And approve the project.
Move to close the issue.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that's unanimous. All set.
All right, thank you very much, I appreciate your
you.
time.
So I
And
have
your
a
accommodation.
decision. Yeah, no, so I have a decision ready for tonight, so I can issue it probably this week.
Perfect, that works
Okay.
out great.
Yeah, all right.
Appreciate the commission's time.
Next one is 242-1868, 25 Gilman Lane.
Yes, it is. Sorry. I'm glad I wrote on it, North Andover Conservation Commission.
Was that a test? Was that a test?
That is too funny. Okay. All right. All righty. All right, so this project involves construction of 18 by 36 in-ground swimming pool, associated patio, fencing, dry well, and dewatering tank, and equipment pad, removal of an existing concrete apron at the side of the existing garage and replace that with a larger patio. Minor grading is proposed. Work is within the 100-foot buffer zone to three BBW wetland systems, A, B, and C, but outside the 50, so no waivers are required. I reviewed the wetland delineation, found them to be accurate. Construction phase dewatering detail and location have been provided, so you have a detail sheet and it's called out on the plan. Stockpiles called out, construction access route, erosion controls enveloping the entirety of the work area. Let's see. And they are proposing an after-construction dewatering tank and dry well system that is aimed to intercept groundwater around the pool. That's also on the detail sheet. It's mainly within existing lawn, all of the work, and that's it in a nutshell. They're doing a pergola off the end of the garage, but that's just outside the buffer zone with a walkway going to the pool patio, which is out of the buffer as well. There is a septic to the north side of the house. That's it. And the applicant's representative is here this evening, if you have questions.
Al?
Not at this moment.
Tony?
I have one. It says a 24 horsepower pump on the dewatering system.
Yes.
Is that a typo?
The pool designer was the one that referenced the pump size. So honestly, I don't know much about pumps, but I can find out for you.
I think you dry out the whole town of North Andover with a 24 horsepower pump.
Okay.
So maybe it's like.
It's gotta be a typo.
A quarter horsepower or something, just, but even 2.4 is a
Yeah.
pretty big pump for dewatering, so just, you know.
I can get that verified.
Yeah, that would be the only, just,
Okay.
you know, I understand the need to get the groundwater out from the pool, but we don't want to have a huge draw on it. And,
I understand.
yeah, no, so that's,
Sean?
No questions?
So, absent the question on the horsepower, is there any update that we need?
We do have a DEP file number.
Yeah.
Have a
And
file
no
number?
comments were submitted from the state.
So I guess what I'm asking is, can we close if there's a question on the horsepower of the pump? Do you want?
I do have one other question.
Okay, Tom. Shoot.
If you're intercepting groundwater, the septic system might be in violation. I think it's a 50-foot offset. That would be my only other question. If you give me a second to pull out Title V, because your effluent's going into the ground, and then you're pulling out, and I think it's a 50-foot offset to
Okay.
something that intercepts groundwater.
Well, so it would be from the leach field, I would assume?
Yes.
So the leach field is outside the 100-foot buffer zone.
But it's 34 feet from the leach field to the edge of the patio.
Right,
So if your dewatering area is below the pool,
right.
you might be within that zone of influence to that. And give me
Sure.
1 second, I'm just trying to pull up Title V. No. Setbacks. And I believe you could put a barrier in between, like
Like an impermeable barrier?
yeah, like
with
a
the
membrane or
septics?
something.
Yeah.
I just gotta find the setbacks.
Oh, two, okay.
This word all legible.
While Tony's digging that up.
Yeah, that's,
Maureen, is the bottom of the pool in the water table?
So that's a good question. I'm not aware of any deep holes being performed out there. But we have the wetland line. The A series is around the 166 contour. The B series, it's got to be around 167, 166. And the existing grade of the pool is, I think that says 169.
169.
So I would say likely, yes, the groundwater's around the wetland elevation, give or
We
take.
talked, last meeting, Amy, we talked about that? Checking for groundwater underneath the
Oh,
pool.
that was for Bonnie Lane? Bonnie Lane, you guys required pre-construction test pits to figure out seasonal high
Yeah, so-
groundwater.
so the setback distance from the soil absorption system to other open surface or subsurface drains which intercept seasonal high groundwater table is 50 feet.
Okay, so we
So-
could move it outside the 50-foot or do the barrier if that's an option.
Yeah, that would be, yeah, so if the pool slid, if probably 6 or 8 feet, maybe flip the patio, you have the wide patio on one side, and you might be able to get the 50 feet on that. And just for health and safety purposes, you don't want to be drawing water from your septic system and then discharging it into your yard either. It's,
Or we could put it on the southerly side of the pool.
the,
Move it over here on this
Yes,
side?
yeah, you could just
we could just swap.
slide it, yeah, just slide it. You're probably 42, slide it 8 feet over.
This is that's the
Okay.
dewatering tank right there.
But the whole, at least according to their detail, they have the whole bottom of the pool with crushed stone that they're pumping out of.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that would be the drain, is the bottom of the pool.
I see what you're saying.
Okay, so we'd
Got
have
it.
to slide the pool.
It's,
Okay, well, that was a good catch.
That's,
Well, the thing I question is that conceivably, there could be perpetual pumping if it's in the water table.
it most likely will be, but the good news is it's pumping it right back into the wetlands, so it's gonna be a big circle. But, the issue is it's, what is it, a type of pool, is it like a fiberglass or gunite? Gunite. So gunite, concrete, and tension is not good. So when you have the water pushing up on the concrete, it'll start splitting. That's what it will
Right.
keep the pressure down.
Maybe that's why they want a 24 horse pump.
I don't know that they have three-phase out there. You need three-phase power to start a 5 horsepower pump over 12 volts, so.
I mean, for your own pool safety, you're gonna wanna know, because if you're in the groundwater, that thing's gonna be pumping all the time. Because if not, it's gonna push, and it's gonna blow the flow right out of your pool.
I worked a summer repairing pools that happened
So
before
that-
college, so I saw it.
Yeah, no, it's,
So that's, we're trying to be, you know, we're into the wetlands, protecting the wetlands, but we're
no, it's,
trying to eliminate a hornet's nest. And it's costing you thousands of dollars.
So the outlet, so we have the pump, we have the dewatering tank pumping to this.
to, yep, to a chamber with the,
With the outlet pipe.
an outlet pipe that just goes to daylight or into kind of like an overflow.
Which is gonna be all the
Area.
time.
Yeah,
And so
I'm
you're-
just- I don't know if does it need like a velocity reducer, that
Um,
outlet pipe?
No, because it looks like it's, well, yeah, I guess it's a 4-inch overflow. You could probably put some stones at it, but it looked like the idea was to let it just build up and over top. So it's not pumping, so it's pumping into kind of a pit, and then it's allowing the pit to rise and then just flow out versus,
Okay.
direct pump discharge, so. I think
Okay, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
think the setup is fine, it's just the distance and the pump size. Just to-
Okay,
And again, you don't need much, it's just it'll probably run all the time, like you said, but it's just enough to keep the pressure off the bottom.
And keep the pressure off the bottom of the pool.
And again, it's really only an issue when the pool's empty or in the winter when you drain it. The water in the pool will be above the water table, so it should balance out otherwise.
so do we need to see these changes on the plan, clarifications before we close?
I think we could hold the order until they submit the plan just showing the 50-foot separation and
Okay.
verify the pump.
Okay, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, that's, I'm not looking to drag things out, just to make sure you.
Are you the owner?
I am.
You are. Can you just state your name and,
Nick Lunger, 25
okay,
Gilman Lane.
all right, thanks.
It's, yeah, no, it's just more for your own.
Appreciate it.
So,
So you don't think we need to test it then?
I mean,
So just so he would know that how severe this water could be? But it sounds like he's already in the water table, so
yeah,
what do you think, Mike?
I'd like to see a plan with the revisions made before approval.
You'd like to see a test pit?
Not a test pit, I'd just like to see it shown that it's at least 50 feet away on the plan before we approve it.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Is the test pit the only way to know?
That's the only way to know. I would say it's in the water table.
I mean, I think you're, well, that 168 looks.
I mean, I could try and find the test pit information for the leach field.
Yeah,
That
so
would
that would
give
be-
you an idea
that would
where the
be
water
great.
table is, even though it's not in the exact location of the pool. It'd give you an idea of how far down it is.
Yeah, it's uphill from where the pool is, so that would be a conservative estimate, would be lower.
Right.
Towards the wetland.
And it's for your peace of mind also. I mean, if it was my pool, I want a test pit. I want to know that I'm getting groundwater on the bottom of that pool all the time. So I want to make sure that it was done right.
So what's the depth of the pool at its deepest?
6 feet, I think.
6 feet?
All right, so we need the barrier, and what else did you ask for?
Yeah, either the barrier or slide it over,
Slide
or a
it.
combination of the two.
Okay.
That's,
And then I gotta check the detail on the pump,
yeah, just make sure that, it's have them
the correct
give you
Yeah, we
horsepower.
don't want to dim the streetlights on
you watch your
My
electric
electric
bill.
bill.
the.
Yeah,
$1,200
right,
electric
yes.
bill.
Yeah, and then if you can find the septic plan, that would be
Okay,
just a,
not a problem.
All right, so we need a motion to continue.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Where am I here? Next one is enforcement orders. 242628, 64 Meadowwood Road.
Okay, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, thanks. No, it's fine.
My wife is watching. She confirmed 2 horsepower with the.
okay, so 2
Two,
horsepower is
two
much.
horse, well, that's good.
better. So
All
yes,
right,
that's,
phew.
Oh, yeah, but we got that.
All right, no,
All right,
that's
so
good.
that can be
Thank you.
fixed on a detail. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, great, thank you. All righty.
This one here, we don't even, I don't think we should even, Amy's
right.
recommendation is that since the commission exercises authority to withhold the PCOC, I recommend that you remove this item from the agenda and await the applicant's proposal.
All right, so I guess you already read my thingy, but, so in March of this year, the commission denied a partial certificate of compliance request due to non-compliant structures within the 25 no disturb zone and the 30-foot no build zone. Commission recommended that the engineer and the applicant come back with a plan to return the site to compliance. Applicant attempted to address the wooden platform off the end of the driveway, which was just a wooden deck. And a contractor said it's not even to code, I won't even touch it. It's best just to take it down, so he just took it down. No harm, no foul to the wetland or anything, it's probably good that it's gone. But the real issue now is the deck and the stairs at the rear of the property, which the stairs are partially in the 25, and all of the stairs is within the 30, and a little corner of the enclosed porch is within the 30.
We denied it, right?
Yes, so
So if it's
I just
denied-
wanted to right, and I just wanted to give you an update as to where it's at. So we have one less non-compliant feature on the property, but they still have to figure out how to fix,
Is there an enforcement order in place?
no,
And there's just a denial?
yes,
Do you want an enforcement order?
I don't think so.
It's a push.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to keep you abreast of
Well, that's
what's.
just my opinion. I don't know if anybody agrees or disagrees with
Well,
me.
Well, at some point, we probably will be issuing enforcement because the reluctance of the removal of the wooden deck.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Right now, we issued a denial.
Right,
So there's nothing in front of us
right.
with a denial. We denied it and said, bring it back to compliance. The ball is in their court now.
That's right.
Unless you feel that there's bad faith,
I don't
and then
think
we
there
will
is.
issue an EO.
No,
So we'll wait to hear from you.
right.
Okay, so he is gonna move the deck.
Well,
Patio, excuse me.
and he understands that he has a non-compliant property that will mess him up for a refi or a transaction.
So that's the carry.
So that's,
Yeah.
that's his problem, basically. I don't mean to be callous about it, but that's sort of the,
I know that I agree with you. The only thing, one thing we've learned is we can't actually compel anybody to come back for a certificate of
Right.
compliance. We don't have the ability to compel that. But we have a non-compliant situation that we're aware of.
right,
So, you know, we're obligated to do something because we're aware of it.
yeah. Yes, I understand that.
to
That's
act.
true.
I don't know if we should keep a list with dates.
Yeah.
When we became aware, which would
Yeah,
have been March.
which was in March of
So,
this year.
you know, maybe on the anniversary
I-
in March of '24, if there's nothing that's been done.
I would, my humble opinion would be to issue an enforcement order,
Okay,
ordering the site be brought into compliance, not ordering that they file for a COC.
right,
Just saying, bring it into compliance, and give them a date. You can take
Right.
that date out as
Right.
far as you want, but we definitely want to do something, because if we
Yeah,
if we
you're right.
fail to act, we really waive.
you're right,
Right.
you're right. No, that's,
Yeah.
yep, that's a good point.
Especially where we know it. You know, once we know,
Yeah,
if we don't know about it, then
Yeah, it's 3 years from when it's known.
when it's known.
3 years
So
when
we
when
know
it's known.
now.
We know now.
So we
Right.
can't really just say, eh.
right. And the likelihood of the commission entertaining after-the-fact modification with a request for a waiver and some mitigation plantings, I mean, that's,
Well, don't speculate on.
oh, I'm not trying to,
Well, right
I'm
now,
just
They
saying.
can't file anything because they
Well-
have an open violation.
Well, see, this is
Well-
where I'm going. If we issue an enforcement order,
Right,
we can then record the enforcement order against the property.
have to.
Then the town's interests are protected. We have to, I think, we have to take the steps.
Yep.
Only because it's been in front of us and we know of it.
yep, understood.
I wouldn't want to be the guy to take no action and then have somebody come back and say, what are you doing?
Yep,
I don't know if there's any other.
So why don't we,
Makes sense. What do we want in the order?
So the enforcement order should be simple. Bring the property into compliance. By,
bye.
well, I don't know.
want to give them a month?
We could give them 5 months to bring it into compliance.
There's not really that much to do, there's just to take
Bring a
that,
proposal forward. I don't think we want them to just go and
Right,
No.
right.
do it.
Sometimes we say file a notice of intent within a certain amount of time, or.
That's the way to go. Bring it into compliance, file a notice of intent describing how you intend to do that.
Or an RDA, not looking at it.
Well, it looks like a notice of intent, but
But we could,
I
we
think
could
it's-
order them under the enforcement order to do the work.
to do
Yes.
something. to-
Yeah, so, but just
at-
have them bring a
at-
proposal.
At the very minimum, bring us a proposal, either an RDA or an NOI.
Yeah, that's, I think that's
So
probably.
you wouldn't want to just carry this through with an EO throughout the whole thing?
he's gonna have to file, if he
That's what I'm
wants to
saying,
do
right?
something.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
require-
So come through with the
requ-
proposal to
For-
us,
Right,
and if it's, I want to
tear down the stairs.
demo it
or
and chop it up.
Yeah, or
and
whatever,
do
or whatever,
You
right.
know, and it's going to be a huge mess, then we'll say, no, you have to file a notice of intent.
See, that's the slippery slope right there.
I know,
All right, if we start ordering work under an EO we're waiving our rights to issue conditions and to bond the project.
I know.
We really,
But then when you issue an order of conditions, it's a permissive permit and he could,
well, but
he
that's.
can appeal.
It's
So
not, it's not unusual for an EO
see, so
to
that's why I
mandate-
can't,
But it's a usual practice for an enforcement order to mandate a filing. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
In enforcement orders, we say hire a wetland scientist and provide a restoration plan or a compliance
Not
plan.
always.
We do it all the time. I'm just not sure.
What if we
Well-
issue an EO and then have them file, and then amend the EO to say comply with the notice of intent? That way, it's still in line with an enforcement. I know exactly what you're saying. Typically, the DEP says, issue an enforcement order saying submit the plan, and then issue another enforcement order saying
do the plan. Right, exactly.
Right. So, but what we could do is, in a filing like you're saying, is as the interim measure to get to that second point where we amend the EO to say do the plan.
I'm in favor of any procedure that we
Yep.
undertake that protects the interests of the town.
Sure.
Anyone-
No, I get it, yep.
I just don't want us to push ourselves into a corner and have the homeowner say, hey, this is what you told me to do.
No, right, so issue an enforcement order tonight requiring a plan to make the property come back into compliance, however that is, however we're gonna propose it, come back with a plan within, whatever, 3 months, 4 months?
The discussion.
For discussion, review,
Well, that, if it's for discussion, it should go to you.
approve, no, to you guys.
We don't-
Because you have to amend the enforcement order to.
We don't discuss, we
to-
don't design.
Well, you know what I mean, for review and approval.
I'm just, again, I'm giving that,
Review and approve.
I'm giving you the.
Review and approval.
Thank you.
And then anticipate a second enforcement order that will
Either say amend the plan
amend the plan,
or execute.
execute the
Or
plan.
file a notice of intent
Or-
or
right,
whatever,
okay.
depending on. what
Because
the-
Yes.
It's a combination of whatever.
What they,
sort of
what they,
everybody's
what they
saying.
demolished,
Yeah.
what they demolished, Amy, did that make the back of the house compliant?
No,
Okay.
it was just a wooden platform off the end of the driveway.
So
So
the
it's-
deck, the deck or
The
addition, or
rear,
whatever,
the rear deck
is
is
in
still,
violation now.
yes.
Okay.
I don't see any other way to do it.
So we
All
should
right, no,
definitely-
that's fine. I
definitely-
think I
definitely
agree.
issue an
Because
enforcement order.
we're
Yes.
dealing with work that
All
was
right.
unpermitted to begin with, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, the whole thing is just, there's no easy, clean way to fix this.
No, like you say, they have to be compliant.
So has
And
that
then-
formally been moved?
Say it again?
Has that
I don't
formally
think
been
so.
moved?
No.
Let's
not-
move
I
it.
haven't-
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that's
So
unanimous.
is it like a 4-month window for to come back with a plan?
You think you
No,
need that long? I don't think you
I don't
need
think
that
No,
long.
it shouldn't. No, 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months, all right.
3 months, and that's really,
That's stretching.
that's a
Okay,
Christmas
that's
present,
generous.
you know?
All right. Okay.
Christmas in July.
Actually, it'll be what,
Oh, you-
end of August, wouldn't
That's what I'm saying.
Summer's over.
You got the summer off. Take the summer off and come back and see us.
All right, next one. 196 Marble Ridge Road.
Alrighty, okay, hi. So, the commission will recall issuing an enforcement order at the last meeting due to a violation that involved installation of a French drain drainage system within a wetland that had been mowed as lawn. Commission required that the applicant engage a wetland consultant by the 24th, by today, and show proof of the same to be provided in time for the meeting. And then the wetland consultant to delineate the wetland and prepare a plan that provides the means and methods of removal of the system and then restoration of the wetland by June 14th. So the homeowners have kept me in the loop, and they're here this evening. I have talked to at least one wetland consultant that is looking at the project to give a proposal. So I don't know. you
Yeah,
can
I
give
did
us an
reach out to
update.
several, but they're all strapped. They're not going to be able to help us until, some said July, which I understand it's a busy season. So this one wetland specialist scientist that I reached out to, I believe spoke to you, Amy, right? She seems to be the one that will probably help me. Because she has the time and she could actually hopefully do it this weekend. So I think I'm going to go with her. I haven't signed the proposal yet because I just received it today.
Okay.
And she's also willing to help with the restoration plan. By the 14th, she knows that that's our date.
Okay. Okay.
So
So,
we can continue it till the next meeting?
14th.
to amend the enforcement order dates, correct?
We can get, I
Well, no, I mean,
I have no problem giving them more time.
I mean,
That's not an issue.
To ship the dates out.
if you want, yeah, I mean,
Like that.
if you,
Yeah, let's,
you know,
So just change
I mean,
the
they are
dates.
making their level best effort and,
Yeah, well, I want to get it done as soon as possible, to be honest, because we also have another permit pending. that-
yep, got it.
So-
All right,
Yeah, no, I just don't
So-
want to put them in violation of the enforcement.
yeah.
right, so
I mean,
let's give them some time so that they can,
okay. So,
what are the deadlines right now?
The 14th.
the 14th
Tomorrow
of
and
June.
So we bump them out a month?
Yeah,
Yeah, bump everything out?
yeah, give you 30 days. on
Okay,
both.
yeah, perfect.
Okay, 30 days.
Yeah,
So
because that also will help me if we need to have it removed, find someone to remove it. I don't know if the contractor is willing to do it.
Well, I'd wait till you get the plan.
For sure, yeah, I'm not going to touch
Yeah,
it
but-
until I
Right.
get the
By all means, yeah.
delineation done.
Yeah, that way,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we just don't want to put you in a situation where you violate the enforcement order while you make a
Yeah.
good effort to comply.
All right, so we have a motion to push
So
it up.
moved.
Push both deadlines out 30
for
days.
both.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
Great. Okay, so I'll
Awesome.
just,
Thank you,
I'll
guys.
send a revised enforcement order with those new deadlines. and
Okay.
Just keep me abreast.
I will.
I'm happy to help however I can.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
you too.
Next one, 241 Mass Ave.
All righty. Okay. So the commission recall issuing an enforcement order at the last meeting. This violation consisted of an in-ground pool rehab project that started without any permits. Some of the surrounding concrete patio was ripped up, electrical trenching. A lot of demo debris had been stockpiled next to the intermittent stream. Commission issued an enforcement order requiring removal of that demo debris by today and submittal of a notice of intent, whenever, but work is to cease on site and, it was mainly clean up the debris and then file a notice of intent, when you can get your plans and your engineer together. So I believe the homeowner's with us this evening.
Heather.
Heather.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So Justine and I did a couple site visits yesterday and one today. Debris still there. I did send an email to Justin, your husband, just a friendly reminder, and so that's where we're at. So if you want to, if you have
Yep,
anything to
so-
say, go ahead.
The pool company had taken their equipment out on the
Okay.
11th, the day after the last meeting, and they have not brought anything back. Tony from Aqua Perfect Pools has told us they will be there tomorrow with their equipment to remove all the debris, is what he's telling us. So that's where we're at with that. The brick that was from the house, Justin has moved a good portion of it.
Oh,
He's still
so-
working.
yeah.
Yep, so,
Okay,
yep, the rest of that was the pool guy. So he's
got it.
telling us he'll be there tomorrow to move it. So we've been in touch with him, but it's just been a,
If you
That, they still need to be installed, finished, let's put it that way.
So they
Yeah.
did start.
They did, yeah, Justin did start, but he needs to
have you
finish that.
retained the wetland scientist for your NOI?
yes, we're gonna use the Moore and Cameron group. I've been in touch with Lindsay. She told me Matt or Andy would be in touch with me this week to get rolling on plans, timelines, information, things like that. So we would like to, of course, move with them as soon as they reach
So
out.
you're planning on probably filing your NOI in the next 2 weeks? Or you need a month?
No.
A month if you can. I'm just not sure. It's, to be honest, kind of like
Yeah.
overwhelming for me looking through that list. So I don't want to say 2 weeks and then miss it.
Yeah, no, they probably need more time.
I would think they wouldn't get out there for 2 weeks. Because they
Right.
have to survey it.
Yeah, right. So we didn't put a deadline on the NOI submittal, though. So it was just clean up, cease work, file your NOI with no particular deadline.
And you said the contractor's supposedly coming back tomorrow.
Tomorrow is what his last message
So
was to
why
us.
don't we just postpone it till the next meeting?
Yeah, I was gonna say, return the next meeting unless it's cleaned up, and then
And then-
otherwise,
And-
just get the notice in as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't do anything until you get your notice of intent.
No.
So I'm sure you're gonna wanna
You
get that in
hired
as soon as
John Warren?
possible.
I'm sorry?
You hired John Warren?
Warren
I
Cameron.
don't know. I've spoken with a Lindsay there. I haven't spoken with
Yeah,
anybody
Warren
else by
Cameron,
name.
that's what she said, so yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You'll be in good.
You're in good
Okay.
hands.
They-
Awesome.
They know what they're doing.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we're gonna extend the enforcement order to
The
Two
date for
week-
performance
2 weeks.
for moving the debris to 2 weeks.
Yeah, they can remove
Unless
it.
it's
Yeah.
inspected
Yeah.
by Amy. If it's done, then she doesn't have to return until the notice. Or if there's no progress, we'll call you
Is
back.
2 weeks enough time?
I would say so, to remove the
If
debris.
he's
yeah.
coming back tomorrow, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's just-
It's,
just-
yeah, and if it's not done, it's just come back and explain why.
So we're amending the EO?
The EO to
Yeah, to the next
extend the
meeting.
date out to the next meeting. And if it's not done, just explain why.
Okay.
If it is done, don't bother coming back until the notice is.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
And there are erosion controls there now?
They're partly, but it needs to extend around the
Okay,
wetland
so
towards
after
the
they
bottom.
remove- after
So
they
that has
remove-
to happen.
After they remove the debris.
They need to get their erosion control sock in.
Cindy,
Just using sock.
Well, they had silt fence, probably the first thing that they could get a hold of. But I think sock needs to be installed.
All right, I was gonna say.
Around
sock
the
is
whole
probably the
perimeter.
easier way to go.
Okay, I think we needed both, right? Was that the?
Yeah, I think the 12-inch sock will do it.
Yeah.
If you can
Yeah,
get
if you-
that.
Okay.
And it's, yeah.
If you're installing it yourself, sock is the way to go.
Okay.
Trenching in silt fence is not.
So
a-
what
Is he
we
already
recommend
trenched
is
it?
after you get it, all the stuff removed, that they've told you what they want removed,
Yes.
call the office, they come out, tell you where they want the erosion controls, so, till you get your NOI, and then we'll go
Okay.
from there.
Great.
We just don't want any of that silt getting into that brook,
Yeah, understood.
all right?
Great.
Okay, so motion to extend the EO to,
Second?
all those in favor say aye,
Aye.
opposed, and that's unanimous.
Okay,
Thank
and
you.
that's to the 14th, right? Just extending.
Yeah, just 2
Just-
weeks
just-
for getting the debris.
2 weeks for, okay, and then, well, our next meeting is the 14th, which is 3 weeks.
All right, 3 weeks.
3
3
weeks,
weeks.
okay,
Sorry.
all right. Okay, all right, so I'll send the
Yeah.
revised EO with the new
Okay.
date, debris out and erosion control in, ASAP.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming,
Thank you, guys.
appreciate it.
All right, next one, well, the dogwood thing we took care of.
Yep,
863 Winter Street. This is gonna take time.
oh, shit, what did I just do? All righty, Winter Street, let me pull up the plan. Alrighty, so I gave you a big, long chronology. I'll try to be short and sweet with this, but how I came aware of this property is the owner submitted a building permit for the pool. There wasn't an engineered plan from the get-go, but there was the wetland report from North Environmental that was performed in March of 2017, stating that there was intermittent stream resource area that flows along the side of the house, that the buffer zone was on the property, and that if the pool was proposed within the buffer zone, it would need a filing with the commission. So, knowing that, I stated that it's likely that the pool would need a notice of intent because it's in the buffer. Because the pool company just provided sort of an aerial with a cartoon blob of a proposed pool. So they came back 2 or 3 weeks later with this engineered plan by Merrimack Engineering. So they had the entire site surveyed and all the existing conditions placed on, and then the proposed pool shown outside the buffer. So I performed a site inspection, and the hardscape that you see within the 25 and the 50 was installed sometime after 2021. So that's it in a nutshell. The owner's here with us this evening. If you have questions for him or me. So in consultation with the chair, I withheld approval of the pool sign off. I haven't signed off on that. I put it on hold based on this non-compliant situation we have.
Right? I don't even know what to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything in the 25 is gonna have to come out, and that's gonna have to be restored. I don't see any way around that. All the structures in the 50-foot no build, the fire pit, that's gotta be moved or go. Everything else within the 50 and 50 to 100-foot zones, anything that could potentially stay could be an after the fact, potentially. But I'm not proposing that. But I'm more concerned about the 25 and the 50 right now, honestly. So I'm interested to hear what everybody else has to say.
Oh,
I think you have to restore, are you familiar with the 25-foot no disturb and the 50-foot no build?
No,
So
I,
you don't have any understanding of it?
no, when we bought the property, we hired a professional to give us like a survey.
Yeah.
Because one of the conditions to buy the property, you have build the pool. Then one thing I read, and they say, okay, you're good to build the pool. So, and then we show the area. So, but I never think that in the back of my property was a wetland, because I see when, I think when she saw that, there's like a piping coming from my neighbor, so I was thinking it was a drain. So, and I'm not familiar with this wetland problem or how it works, so then I did all this work by myself. So.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to help you become familiar with it, because unfortunately, anything that's in the 25-foot no disturb or the 50-foot no build has to come out. It's not gonna be allowed to stay.
There's any way I can work with this and hire or whatever a professional, make something to, I want to fix it.
Well, you should be hiring a professional, but the professional's not gonna get you a waiver if there's a viable and feasible alternative, which there appears there is. I'm sorry to be dropping the bad news on you, but there isn't any way that they weren't, what you did not have been permittable had you filed with us. Let's say you had come to us and filed a notice of intent. We would never have allowed those to happen. So
I understand that.
So because it's not permittable, it's gotta go. So you gotta bring the property into compliance, which means the 25-foot has to be restored, and the 50-foot no build has to be free of structures. You can have activities in the 50-foot, but no structures. But this is where you need to have a pro working for you, because we're not gonna do this for you. We can't design the project for you.
excuse me, Al.
Yeah.
It's in the remarks here, it says in March of 2017, before the house was bought, the owners had hired a wetland consultant, Steve Erickson, of North Environmental,
You hired,
to determine the presence of wetlands and delineate them in the field to see where a pool could be installed.
so what did Erickson tell you? He told you?
That was the previous owner.
No,
No.
No.
No, we hired.
It's his-
I
that was
hired
his
because
wife.
And he showed-
I hired.
before they bought the property, they had Steve on site to
No.
tell them where can I put a pool.
Nobody should, because I hired the professional
Yeah.
to be, as a part of buying the property. The
Yeah.
only thing I got from him is like a report.
Yeah.
Say you're okay to do your pool where you want to put it. It's over there.
If
I
he,
don't think that's what it said.
yeah, I don't think so.
That
either.
isn't what it says either.
okay, so that's what I got. So then that's why I proposed to put the pool where he told me when he bought the property. And then I constructed that by myself. So no clue, there's a wetland on the back of the property.
The reason why I question it, because it says he provided a reporter's findings that where the wetlands were and the delineations in the field. So you knew where the wetlands were, he showed you where they were, but, and
Can I just state
and
from
you continue
Yeah,
to.
from-
Eric's letter?
Yeah.
Erickson's letter.
To build the patios and the stump pits and the walks and the, you know, these were all open violations and violation of the State Wetlands Act and the local bylaw. So
Right.
that's why
I mean, yeah, I mean,
it's not good.
Mr.
Brian
Erickson's,
wants one quiet.
Go ahead.
So the last statement of his says, you would have to file with the local conservation commission for installation of a pool.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Which
what
which you didn't do.
Which you didn't do.
with the pool. Yeah, I'm fired
Is it-
for the pool.
Maybe with building department, this is
Well,
conservation.
I think, so, I think what happens here is that he asks, where can I put a pool? A pool. Steve says, if it's in the buffer, if the pool's in the buffer, you have to file with the Conservation Commission. They're not talking about hardscape. So pool, in their mind, does not mean hardscape, fire pits, and patios. Okay? It is, but I'm just telling you that people compartmentalize, and, I mean, I'm not defending it, I'm just saying that, you know, when I tell people what can and cannot be done in the buffer zone, I give them a laundry list so that they can visualize and understand that it's anything.
So did somebody drop the ball here, is that what you're saying?
Well, I think someone,
I just thought maybe it was just
Just-
misinterpretation.
I don't
No,
know.
no,
I mean, do you know what I'm saying?
Wait. Did he rely upon information that he got from somebody at town? No?
Not us, no, his wetland
When you say
consultant.
not us,
His consultant.
did he talk to the building inspector or anybody?
Not to my knowledge, I don't know. I don't know.
The only reason I filed for permit because when we bought the property, we were planning to do the pool, and then take it a point to do the pool. Say, okay, we hire engineer, we hire architect. Then I show him, say, they have this wetland study when I bought the property. Say, and on the building department, they say, oh, it's too old. You need to do another one. So okay, then I did another one. Then my architect say, oh, we need. The professionals say we need to be out on. Can we be out on the buffering zone so we can put in a different place? Because my plan was too close, put it close to the house.
You would have had to come to us.
Yeah, then I say, no, put it up far away, so you need to do this. Then I say, okay, that's fine. Then I file for a permit. I'm even thinking I need to come here to ask them permission for, I'm even thinking what I'm doing on the back was a violation. I never gonna do a violation spending thousands and thousands of dollars to risk to demo. So I didn't on purpose.
Yeah.
So this is not a purpose. So
Yeah, anything within the 100 feet, anywhere,
now,
except for like there's 5 minor things or something like that, I think,
Yeah.
that are, and I don't even know if we carry the minor exempt projects, but.
No.
Yeah, anywhere within the 100 feet has to come through us.
yeah, so that's, I understand it's a violation, that happens, but like, I don't know if it is, like he said, it's tough to sell, but I came from low for a small house, then I bought a house with 8 acres, then I never hear something about wetlands, or this is 100, or this is 20, or this is 50. So that's a patio. So I did the patio. I don't remember if it was between 20 and 21, but when it's like I wasn't working on the COVID, so I was doing things in my house. So I don't expend that money, say, oh, well, I'm doing this. I know it's illegal, but I would do it anyway. No, I have a bunch area. I can expend that money in a different area, doing the right thing, but I didn't know. So that's the thing, I didn't know. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, ignorance of the law doesn't change anything. It's unfortunate that it happens that way. all that's like, it's,
It's,
it's gonna have to be removed.
So he's gotta hire, who do you have working for you now? Do you have a wetland
It's
scientist?
Merrimack Engineering.
Yes, Merrimack.
And Norse Environmental.
And Norse
Maureen
So they've gotta-
redelineated in March.
The people that are working for you have to
2022.
come,
That's great.
and you have to bring the place into compliance, you have to fix it.
so we
We're
can,
not, you're not gonna get a waiver to keep the stuff there.
Look at it as, I'd be willing to have it come into compliance in a step-by-step manner, if they want to propose removing the 25-foot disturbance and restore it. I mean, if he did the work himself and he's trying to take it out himself, as long as he keeps moving forward and then do the 25, and do the plans kind of that
I'm
way.
not hearing any willingness to do anything right now.
You know, that's, but I'm just saying that, you know, I think it has to come out, just, you know, if the plan is to take it out, if you're cooperative, I think, you know, as you've seen with the other enforcement orders, that, you know, if there's action and people are working to comply, we're not punitive about it, we try and work with them. But I just don't see a way that it can.
Well, what I would suggest, you have Norse environmentalist. If you show her this plan, she knows that where the violations are. She can try and fit it somewhere, all this stuff in, and remove it and put it in the areas that are able to have it. And even that would be between the 50 and 100. Structures aren't allowed.
Yeah, like even the retaining wall between 50 and 100. There's a,
All right, so I feel bad, this gentleman looks like, you know, it's like he's getting hit with a tidal wave, and it's,
He had a report since 2017.
I know, I'm agreeing with you.
I just want to defend myself with this report in 2017 because I pay for something. I don't even know what I was paying because I asked the pool and they say you need to survey your property. So for what? For this. Then I pay for the guy. And the only thing I heard from him say, you okay to do your pool in the property? So for me it was fine because I don't know what's a wetland at that point. And I didn't know what I was doing until I applied for this permit for the pool.
The plan they gave you in 2017 showed you where the wetlands were.
Yes,
It
but
identified the wetlands.
I didn't know.
So you paid for a plan, you didn't pay attention to it?
No, I didn't know because my intent is hire to see if I can put the pool in the area, in the back of the house. And then I say, yes, you are okay to do that, but it has to be far away. You say, okay, the area for me was fair enough. And this time when it start again, then we have a conversation because I want to bring the pool close, and I say, if you go far away, you don't need to go on a conservation. So I don't want to extend this process.
Well, then he gave you the guidance that all you were asking for was the pool. So he did all the setbacks and stuff based on the pool. Evidently, you didn't tell him you were gonna put all the stuff on the other side.
No, because all this work was done by me, my wife, during COVID, doing work in there, and I never think in my life patio or outdoor kitchen or something there. There's no cover. For me, this is not structural. I didn't know. I didn't know, so.
Well, like I said, ignorance,
That's-
you're still non-compliant, doesn't matter if you knew or you didn't know.
So let's give him,
So,
let's
Just
move
to
this.
issue an enforcement order,
Yeah,
and to what, to bring it into compliance? Or to
yeah,
have a
or
plan,
come back with a plan that
just like the last one we
just,
had?
you know, means and methods of how this is gonna be returned to
This is-
compliance.
this is pretty
I mean, this is a
extensive,
lot
so I
of
would give them 30
removal, a
days.
lot of disturbance, we need erosion controls on the plan, we need a step-by-step work
Yeah.
sequence,
Okay, 30 days,
30 days for the plan.
and no further work out there until that doesn't move forward with the pool.
Pool,
till that's
right.
done.
So
You've been out,
so
this
the
is
first
all
thing, the first
done.
thing that has to happen on the enforcement order, we have to issue a cease and desist.
Right,
And then after we issue a cease and desist, we have to give him a plan an order, a firing order, how we want it
Right.
fixed. We've got to make it very clear. If he's gonna use the same wetland people, that's fine. If he wants to hire somebody else, that's fine, but the first thing that has to happen is we need a restoration plan to be filed within 30 days.
I mean, the wetlands, according to this plan, is clearly marked.
Yeah, no, but I'm past that. We need a restoration plan.
Means and methods removal, work sequence, erosion controls, you know,
Bring
How
it
to-
into compliance.
right.
Get the structures out of the
Yep.
25 and out of the 50.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
so I'll be sending that to you
Alright,
this
okay,
week.
that's
Okay,
fine.
thanks,
Okay,
thank
we'll
you.
work on it.
Thanks
Thank you.
for coming in.
Sorry.
Thank you.
40 Flagship Drive.
Okay, so, all right, so the commission issued an enforcement order at the last meeting requiring the submission of a restoration plan for the downstream wetlands that were impacted from the site that was originally non-jurisdictional. There was a May 12th deadline for acknowledging the enforcement order. Didn't hear from them. Sent it again by email with the return receipt request, nothing. And today, we were supposed to receive a wetland restoration plan. Didn't receive anything. I'm in the midst of having the signage made to post the property, ordering that all work stop. And I was not able to assemble a meeting with the town council and planning director before the planning director's vacation, so I'll circle back with them when we're all back together for revoking the special permit at the planning board.
I mean,
Just to
that's-
explore
I
that.
think that's key. I think the planning board,
Yep.
I think if there's a way to do it,
Yep,
that special permit has to be revoked.
yep,
There can be no ambiguity on this site.
yep.
I mean,
So, you know, we have non-compliance with our most recent enforcement order.
So no correspondence at all?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
I'm not opposed to filing attention if needed. That's just my.
I've been
take.
talking fines for 2 months.
Well, we
already did that, didn't we?
we've been down this road. That's
Yeah, I know,
we've been
but
down this road.
We missed the boat on
No, I know, but
I wish
now-
we would've-
we're
100%
positioned very differently now
Yes.
when it comes to fines.
Yep.
Well, then let's start them all over again.
Yep.
So that's $100 a day, starting
What's the-
Today.
What's the max?
today, $100.
Do we want to,
The max, $100 is the max.
do we want to do a progressive, so it shows that we're
I don't know how you do that.
building, you know?
No,
No, that's, I just don't know the context of what came back on the case, so I'm just trying to,
What, not here.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
we'll,
let's just keep it simple, $100 a day.
$100
$100 a day. We're not
Right.
gonna, yeah, we don't wanna
Fair enough.
discuss anything else. And we wanna make sure that, we wanna request that the planning board consider revoking the special permit as a result of the ongoing violations and ongoing.
do we have a copy of the special permit?
I think I do.
So, just mind forwarding it to the commission?
Yes, yeah, okay.
Not
So you've received nothing as of today, right?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, so-
Not even a hello.
I think, do you need a motion to start the fines today?
Yes.
Okay,
And a new enforcement order.
So I'll move that we commence fines of $100 a day starting today.
Second.
And you want a new enforcement order?
Yeah, we'll have to put that in a new enforcement order.
Or do you want to amend the one we have?
Amend it, or, yeah.
Okay.
Move to amend the existing
Whatever the
to
correct procedure is,
incorporate,
I
to
move that as
incorporate
well.
$100 a day, starting today.
We have a motion
For every day
and
that a
a
restoration plan's not
All those in
submitted.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. I never seen anything like this in my life, never.
Well,
But when, I'm not, I have another avenue to get to, which I'm going to shop.
Are you here for something in particular? Oh, hi, Melinda. How are you? Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. Yeah, we're working on it. I'm trying to assemble a team to address the trash on Willow and Flagship. I am.
I know you are.
Yeah.
I've never been to a meeting before.
Oh, okay.
And I've really enjoyed it. I've
Oh,
learned an awful lot.
great.
So,
All right.
and I live on 65 Meadowwood. Just to
Okay.
let you know, I live across from a very nice gentleman.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
It's nice to meet you.
It's nice meeting you.
All righty.
Have a good
Thanks for coming in. Okay. All righty. Okay, so decisions. I'm sorry?
Yes.
Decision time?
Decision time.
Okay.
So we've got the amended order of conditions for 285 Stevens. We're not doing Gilman, so that's continued. So it's so it's amended order for Stevens and an order of conditions for Windrush Farm.
The first one I have in front of me is 242-1867 Windrush Farm.
Okay.
I'm only going by your pile.
So Amy, for condition 69, if they have to maintain that to get to the fire pond,
Yes.
do we want to modify that
Yes.
condition somehow to maybe just,
I just had, accepting those areas within 10 feet in either direction of the dry hydrant previously permitted on the site.
yeah, that should be,
Yeah,
Within 10 feet on
yeah,
either
because that's what
side.
you're not allowed to park, just 10 feet either side of a hydrant, so I think that's
makes sense.
justification.
Yep.
Okay,
So that maintains their access.
got it.
We did permit that dry hydrant, so.
Yep.
yeah,
This one's pretty clean, Amy. I haven't seen one like this in a long time.
All right.
Any questions?
So, bond of 2,000? 2,000?
That's a lot. I think maybe 1,000,
Okay,
500 to 1,000,
1,000.
just my humble opinion.
I totally agree.
Okay.
If there aren't any more questions or motion,
So moved.
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous. Next one is 242-1868, 25 Gilman.
That was continued.
That was continued?
That's
Yep.
the septic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We did continue building that.
Oh, that's right.
What's that?
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, we continued that.
Okay, and then the amended one is 285 Stephen Street.
You don't have to see 520 to 1 mitigation rate, restoration ratio.
That could be a record.
Right?
questions with this one?
Nope.
If not, then motion. What's that?
No questions down there?
So yes, any questions? Do you have any questions, Sean?
No, sir.
Tony?
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.
Wow.
Motion to adjourn.
Not bad.
Second.
8:38.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that's unanimous.